Hello again. Well, for entertaining, it seems certainly a very popular thing these days to have nachos and all sorts of things to dip them into. And I see the supermarket shelves really filling up with things like salsas and cheese dips and this sort of thing. Now, salsa is very, very easy to make. So what I thought I'd show you today is how to make your own homemade hot salsa for dipping in. Not only for dipping chips into, but this is very, very nice to serve with a steak or with seafood. Put a little salsa on the plate and then lay your steak or your seafood on top of the salsa. It really makes a nice variation to a dish. This is excellent on crackers or chips, as I say, or my kids have just put it on a piece of bread and eat it like a sandwich. It's very, very good. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we take some fresh tomatoes here, and we're going to peel these. Now, many of you will be familiar with how to peel tomatoes, but the first thing we do is take out the core from the bottom. And then what we do, we blanch these tomatoes into boiling water, and that will make the skins very, very easy to peel off. Take out the cores. Those we don't need, we can discard those. We have our water almost boiling here. We'll leave that for a second. I'll just put a cover on the water to bring it to the boil a little faster. We'll leave that for a second. While that's boiling, I'll peel the garlic. You can use as much or as little garlic as you like. I'm just putting 1 clove of garlic into this, but I know many of you would like more of a strong garlic flavor, so feel free to vary the quantities in dishes like this. You know, some dishes you have to have exact measurements. That's more true with baking. You know, if you're making cakes or bread, you need to have to the ounce. You measure your flour and your butter and so on. Dishes like this are fun dishes which you don't have a set recipe. You just put in the things that you like and add a little more of this, a little less of that. So whatever flavors that you enjoy, you put those into it. So we've got one clove of garlic. I'm going to just slice up here. I'll use a larger knife. That's too small. There. We'll just chop this up, and then we put a little salt onto the garlic, and that makes it easier to crush. It holds the juices, makes the garlic easy to crush. The garlic I'm going to put in this bowl here. Now water is boiling, so I'm going to put the tomatoes into the water. This only takes a few seconds to blanch the tomatoes. You leave them in too long, you'll cook the tomato itself. All we want to do is loosen the skins on them. So you can say practically as soon as the water starts to get back to a strong boil that they blanched enough and the skins are loose. If you're not certain whether they've been in the water long enough, you can just lift one out, as I'll show you in a second. You can lift one out, and where I've removed the core, simply grasp a piece of the skin there and see if it peels off. A little bit longer, the peel is still a little tight on there. But you can check them every 5 seconds or so after they come back to the boil. Just check them, and as soon as you see the skin is nice and loose, that's the time to remove them from the water. I'll take this one out again. I'll just put this on the table. I'll show you what I mean. Just put your finger under the skin and pull. Look at that, the skin pulls off, just like pulling your socks off. There we go, take those out. Now I'll put those under here. If you're doing a large quantity, I'd suggest you have a bowl of cold water to put the tomatoes in as they come out of the water, then they won't carry on cooking. But with only 4 tomatoes here, I'm not going to bother stopping the cooking process because we're going to peel them immediately. See how easily the skin pulls off here? Very, very simple. This salsa is so easy to make. You wonder why people would even buy it from a grocery store when it's so easy to make at home, especially in the summer, in the late summer when the tomatoes are already in the gardens here. Well, not really this summer, there weren't too many, but usually when all the tomatoes are around, this is a great salsa to make, great dish to make and have. You can preserve this, you can bottle it or can it and put it away. This one's a little warm. I'll just remove the skins. Quite simple. I'll take this water off now, we don't need it anymore. There's no use for the tomato skins. You can discard those. They have no flavor in them. We have no use for those. So as you take the skin off, we'll just put those away into the garbage container down here. I do have a garbage container. I'm not putting it onto the floor. Now, we take the tomatoes and cut them in half, like this. And I'm going to remove the seeds from the tomatoes. Just by squeezing them like that, take out the seeds. Just put your thumb into the tomato and lift out the seed pockets, squeeze them out. If you could leave the seeds in if you wanted to, but some people don't like the seeds to get stuck in their teeth and things like that. So this is a much nicer way to do it, to take the seeds out. You don't have to discard this pulp that we're removing from the center of the tomatoes. If you're doing a quantity, more tomatoes, you would strain this and then you'd have fresh tomato juice, which you could either chill and drink, or you could use it in stews and different dishes, so you wouldn't discard the pulp from the center of the tomatoes. I'm not going to put the juice into the salsa because it makes it a little runny, but if you wanted to have a runny salsa for some dishes, you might want to add the juice to it. No problem at all. Just wipe that off, just to one side. Now I'm going to roughly chop these tomatoes. We have a word for this in the kitchen. We call this a tomato concasse. So if you ever hear me use that word, this is what I mean. It's just chopped peeled tomatoes. Is tomato concasse. We use this a lot in dishes, you know, for adding to different stews and sautés, things like this. We'll always have a bowl of tomato concasse in the refrigerator to use in various dishes that we make. Then I'm going to put my pan back on. I'm going to add my tomatoes and some little balsamic vinegar here. Again, we've used this before, the balsamic vinegar. That's the very aged red wine vinegar. A little Tabasco sauce. You can use, again, as much Tabasco or little Tabasco as you like, depending on your personal taste. And here I've got some hot red pepper. Some hot red pepper, some sweet green pepper. I'm just dicing it up. I've removed the seeds and the white part of the inside of the peppers. That tends to be a little bitter, so all we're using is the exterior from the peppers. Okay, and some chopped onion. Now this doesn't have to cook for too long. All we're doing really is warming this to bring the flavors to the surface. Once this has come to a good boil, I'm going to add some salt and some freshly ground black pepper. And it does make a difference. I would really advise you to buy a pepper grinder at home if you enjoy cooking, because there's nothing compares with the flavor of fresh ground black pepper. Yeah. Now the idea with this is that it is now simmered. I'm going to add my little bit of garlic here. There. And this then I would put into a bowl, and I'd refrigerate that now overnight before I use it. That would go into the refrigerator. What I've done here, I have some which I made yesterday, and this has been refrigerated, and I put it into a small bowl here. And we're going to put some nacho chips around this. There. And there we are, all set now with our nachos with a fresh, hot salsa dip. And all we need now is for company to come over, a nice glass of red wine, and we're all set for an evening. Thank you very much.